We are continuing with our Meet the Candidates segment, and today, or in this segment I should say, we are featuring the People's United Party Belmopan representative. We have Oscar Mira joining us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Marlene. Good morning, Gavin, and good morning, Belize, and morning, Belmopan. It's a beautiful morning here in Belmopan.
Hot already?
It is, but very nice. The sun is out, it's shining, brings up our spirits, and the sky is blue.
Okay. So, Oscar, let's just jump right into it. You were putting yourself forward as the People's United Party candidate for the capital city. Tell us what has led you to this point and why you feel that you are the best candidate for the job.
Well, I grew up here in Belmopan, in an area called Salvapan. I came here when I was like about 5 years old. This is my home. This is where I grew up, went to infant school, junior school, Compre. And at the age of 18, I decided that I wanted to serve my country. So I served my country by joining the Belize Defense Force. I thought that I was going to join the Army for a minimum of 3 years. However, it turned out into a career of over 20 years. During my time in the Army, I gave my all to my country. And after retiring from the BDF, I decided that I can still have, and I still have the strength to give back to my community, give back to my country, but give it back more, to the city where I grew up, that saw me and gave me education. So, and what best to do it than by being the person to represent those that didn't have the opportunity like I did.
And Oscar, can you tell us a little bit about what your experience in the BDF taught you? Or what prepared you for entering the world of politics?
I think that my formation years, which was the year that I went to do my officer training. My officer training I did at Sandhurst, the best military academy in the world, in England. And the motto for Sandhurst is service to the people. It's about service. So I think that from the beginning, they instilled in us that serve to lead. So from the beginning, if you want to be a leader, you need to be a servant. So that was where I got my formation years. That is where I was given all those good things that a leader should be, and where I learned to serve the people. If you want to be a leader, you need to be a servant. So I think that those years in the BDF, and especially my formation years, gave me that passion to serve. And being a representative of the people is about service. You cannot shortcut it. It's about service, both to our people, both to our community, to our country. And therefore, the years that I spent in the BDF give me a commitment to my country. It hasn't been easy. It wasn't the best paying job. It wasn't the easiest of jobs, but we did it because there was a purpose. We did it because we want to serve. And all those that serve in the military, I think, have that same commitment. And coincidentally, the 11th of November, which is the date that was set for our general elections, is Veterans Day, where we remember all servicemen, all those that have served in the military worldwide. So on that day, it's going to be double special for me, remembering my years of service and making sure that we remember all those that have fallen and remember those that are serving presently. And of course, it's going to be the general elections.
So, Oscar, let's talk about the campaign trail and how it has been going. Belmopan is a very competitive race. I'm sure you're well aware that the current representative has had what people would call a stronghold over the area for many years. What makes you think you can come in and shake things up?
the campaign, the reception I have received on the campaign trail has been overwhelming. After 15 years of the same representation, the people are ready for a change in Belmopan, and I can feel it everywhere I go. All the messages that I receive every day of telling me, you know what, Mr. Mira, please come to my house. I need to see you. We need to sit. We need to talk. There is no shortcut about it. You got to go out there and meet the people. Yes, it's challenging times, and we have to take all the precautions and protocols that we have been put in place by the Ministry of Health. But the residents of Belmopan just want to ensure that they have a representative that they can meet and they can speak to and can relate to them. You know, I grew up in the outskirts of Belmopan at a time when there was no water, there was no light. I had to do my homework at school because if I got home and it was too late, I had nowhere and I had no means of doing my homework. So I can relate to those people who live in the area of Salvapan, in the area of Mayamopan, in the area of Las Flores that don't have those amenities right now. And I sympathize with them. I can sit with them and listen to their stories and say, you know what, I went through that. And I want to be that representative that do not forget you. I want to be that representative that is going to be here for you to ensure that we can make things better for you. Yeah. At the end of the day, I can also relate to those who are in this society saying, well, you know what, I have had an university studies. I can speak with them too because I do have a master's degree from the University of the West Indies in national security and strategic studies. So I can relate to a vast, or to everyone here in Belmopan. And I'm telling you that the campaign so far has been going excellent. It is time to make sure that we bring back that integrity and that honesty to the representation of Belmopan that has been lost. A lot of our residents have already made up their mind. And one of the common things that I have heard on the campaign trail is that, you know what, Mr. Mira, I know for a fact who not to vote for. Now, I need to hear what you have and what you're offering for Belmopan and what your plans are for Belmopan. And that has been amazing. It has been really amazing, getting in contact back with our citizens.
Yeah. Let me just get in, because you said a lot there, and I wanted to tackle one particular point. Looking at where you grew up, and I think that's one of the interesting factors about the Belmopan constituency. You're looking at Belmopan proper, and then you also have all the communities that are on the outskirts, and the needs and the priorities in those areas are vastly different. And there's also a great big deal, there's a need for unity between these communities as well. So talk to me about that. How are you, what would you, if you're the representative, do to be able to prioritize the needs that are different in the areas, and also look at building kind of a more cohesive representation there?
I believe, and it is our mission that it is one Belmopan. It's one capital city. The divide has happened over the years because of the lack of services and the lack of attention that some of these communities around Belmopan have not received. However, it is my duty as an area representative to represent all of Belmopan. It is one capital city. We need to ensure that the development that we see in central Belmopan is also seen in the outskirts of Belmopan. And one day, very soon, we can have, a one Belmopan where when you say Belmopan, you don't think of Las Flores as anything different. You don't think of Salvapan as different. You don't think of Mayamopan as different. That is one capital city. It's one Belmopan, one people. Mm-hmm. And in the end, I think that we are seeing now a lot of those same persons who have lived in central Belmopan, the second generation of Belmopanese, are also now living in areas like Las Flores, in areas like Mayamopan and Salvapan. So there's an integration now. There's this this mixture of different people living in these areas. So yes, it is neglected. It has been neglected for so many years. But I want to ensure that the development comes as well to these areas that we call the outskirts of Belmopan. At the end of the day, it's one Belmopan. It's one capital city.
And speaking of the campaign trail, Belmopan is also one of those constituencies with a really relatively large number of voters. So can you talk a little bit about how you have been going out, reaching the community to hear their concerns, and also doing so in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, we have over 8,000 registered voters in Belmopan. It's less than we had a few before the re-registration. Before re-registration, it was about 10,000. But it is not only about me. I have a great team. I have a team who is putting their all. I have a team who is working every day. And I have teams that are working in every sector of Belmopan. My campaign did not start a few months ago, and it did start last month. My campaign started from last year. From last year, we have been visiting, we have been interacting, we have been talking to our residents. So from last year, when after I won the convention, that's when my campaign started, and I have continued. COVID came, and yes, indeed, it slowed down our campaign, but we didn't give up. We still managed to stay in touch. And that is what the people and the residents of Belmopan want. They want a leader who is in touch with them, not someone who will come to them every 5 years. You know, you have to be in constant communication with them. And most of our residents, all they want is that communication and that personal touch with them. You know, so the campaign has been going extremely well. We have been working from last year, and with all the protocols that have been put in place, we continue working Belmopan. We continue meeting the residents of Belmopan. I think I have touched almost, if not all, areas of Belmopan, and will be continuing to do so until election day. Yeah. And beyond, I mean, it doesn't stop. After election, and I'm elected the area representative for Belmopan, the work continues. The interaction with our citizens continue. They need to know that I am here for them. And that is the kind of representation that I want to ensure that I do.
What is your vision for Belmopan? This is a big part, I think, of when you go out into the community and you talk with people. It's having them understand what you think you can bring to the table and affect in terms of change. So tell us, what is your vision for the capital city?
We want a Belmopan the Belmopan that we originally envisioned, a garden city, an area where our children, our city where our children have the opportunity to go to school, where our citizens have the opportunity to better and the best health care, an opportunity for young entrepreneurs to make sure that they can realize their potential as a business person, a business-friendly city where we help and we guide and we ensure that if you want to make a business, that will prosper. We want a city where at the end of the day, the quality of life of our citizens is enhanced. You know, that is the capital city that we want. You know, a green, well-planned city. For now, the capital has been expanding very rapidly. However, there is no vision. There is no planning. It's just been expanding, and a lot of our residents they want to build. They want to build their homes, but there is no electricity. There's no water. There's no access. The development needs to be planned. We want a garden city the way it was envisioned from the beginning.
So, knowing that you've laid out that vision, that you wanna complete the vision of the garden city, tell us now about a plan of action. What are the priority actions that you would take if you are elected? People are very accustomed to hearing kind of the dreams and goals of politicians, but let's talk about what you feel that you can actually accomplish.
We have been working as a team, and we have been working for a very long time in consultation with our residents. And there are 6 topics that we want to work with. citizen security and safety. Our citizens need an environment where they can feel secure, where they can feel safe, where they can take their children out to a park, you know, and enjoy a family day. It is something that our families, you know, always envision, you know, that we can go out anytime we want and that we're going to be safe. City expansion and the green growth. We have been losing our greens in Belmopan. We have been losing our buffer zones in Belmopan. It is disheartening, you know, when every other day we come and we look at what is happening in Belmopan and some green space has been lost. We need more green space. We need more parks. We need the city expansion to be well planned. Not just, you know, expanding because there's an election coming, so we're just scrambling to find lots to give to our citizens and use it as a way of gaining votes. It got to be well planned so that our citizens have the amenities that they need. Employment and business development. You know, the government cannot be the only employer. They are the largest employer. However, if we can develop, you know, an environment where businesses can thrive, then our own citizens are going to be able to do their own employment. And when you have a small business and they are successful and they start to employ one more person, two more persons, that's 2-3 persons and 2-3 families, you know, who are going to benefit from this small business. We want to ensure that Belmopan is the place where anybody wants to invest, they think about Belmopan first. Education and training, for a very long time, our children have been neglected. If you don't pass your PSC, apparently that's the end of your education. We need vocational training in Belmopan. We need a vocational school. I will lobby very hard to ensure that there's a vocational school here. I have met so many young children who, after Standard 6, have nothing to do because they never passed a PSC. And that is not the way we want our children to grow. We want to give them an opportunity. And they might not be the best in the formal education, but they're probably good at what they do with their hands. So we need to ensure that education is not just the formal English, maths, and biology, science education, but vocational. Vocational education is something that is going to give them not only that opportunity, but also employment for themselves. Health and sports, there are so many of our young kids who want to do sports. They're probably, as I said, you know, drop out of school, but they're very good athletes. They can gain education through sports. We have seen our very young baby jaguars, as we call them, go out in the Central America and they come back and do very well. They come back with medals and they come back with trophies. There is a disconnect from when they are small to when they reach a senior team, because the senior team has not been doing too well. We need to ensure that we embrace that young talent and nurture them so that they can prosper, and we can have professional athletes here in Belize as well. You know, but we need a healthy population. For a very long time in Belmopan, we have a hospital that is inadequate. It was okay for the beginning when Belmopan was small, but it has already outgrown its usefulness here in Belmopan. We are the referral hospital. The Western Regional is a referral hospital. However, we are not up to that referral standard. So as a policy, the People's United Party has now made it clear that Belmopan needs a new hospital, and a People's United Party government is going to build a hospital. We cannot forget our senior citizens. They have given their life of service to our country, to our city. And Belmopan was pioneered by public servants, and many of them are now out there, retired in their homes, but they need that service that they cannot do for themselves. We have to ensure that we bridge that gap between the youths and the senior citizens. The youths can benefit a lot from the senior citizen. The senior citizen can benefit a lot from the youths. We want to ensure that in Belmopan we have that culture and that environment of community service. For many of us, community service is something that we don't practice, that we don't know, but we are going to ensure that we bridge that gap between the youths and the seniors and bring back that community service spirit.
Let me bring it back to, I think, one of your first points, which was looking at citizen security. Having your own military background, what are your plans in being able to address the crime situation there in Belmopan and rebuilding things like trust within the police system?
Belmopan, yes, indeed. We have a police department here in Belmopan that is responsible for a big area. We want to ensure that we can work together, build a well-equipped, properly manned police, municipal police here in Belmopan. It's an idea that we can do. It is something that is very, very doable. Yeah. It is something that we want to ensure that will give Belmopan the attention that it needs when it comes to security. The Belmopan police formation is responsible from St. Margaret to T. Kettle to all the way to Franks Eddy. It's a large and vast area. And most of the time they're under-equipped, undermanned, and they have been working long hours. A municipal police will ensure that we work and support the Belize Police Department, and they will be solely responsible for Belmopan. So making sure that we light the areas around Belmopan that are dark, making sure that we have, again, those foot patrols that we were used to in the past and doesn't happen anymore. We want to ensure that we have that police presence in our city, and that is going to deter a lot of those robberies and thefts that are happening. Yeah. We also need to embrace technology. It's about time that we embrace technology, and we have a camera system here in Belmopan. Technology is here for us. We just need to ensure that we embrace it.
And from your campaigns, what are the voters saying? What are they saying are their greatest needs that they've identified in the city?
I think that the most and the greatest need that I have identified is the issuing or the want of land. For many in Belmopan, I have seen that there is a family lot, and there are 3, 4, 5 families living inside one lot. Land is a big issue. It's not only in the outskirts of Belmopan, but it's also in the proper central Belmopan. A lot of our youths are now adults, and they just want to have a place that they can call their own. Housing situation. So housing and land is, I think, one of the biggest issues right now, and also the high cost of living. A lot of during this COVID situation, a lot of our citizens lost their jobs, and they're finding it very, very hard. Majority of them have not gotten that support and have not gotten that help that the government had promised. And like some of them say, I don't know what we need to have or what we need to do to ensure that we qualify. But whenever we apply, we don't qualify. And we're going through a hard time. Our Belmopanese people are very resilient people, and they're making ends meet, and they're coming with innovative ways of making their own employments. Yeah. And we need to ensure that we help them, and that we guide them, and that we give them that support that they need.
And Oscar, can you also tell us a little bit about what are your plans for the next, less than 2 weeks now leading up to the election, for the rest of the campaign, and how you're going to reach out to those last few voters that may make all the difference?
Yes, we continue my campaign around Belmopan. I have a team who is very, very hardworking. It is not only about me, but it's about Team Mira, who are out every single day and every single evening working very, very hard. I must give thanks and kudos to that team. I have a team in all areas of Belmopan, and they work very hard. As I said, I have been campaigning from last year, so I've probably almost reached all our citizens. There are those that we have not reached, and we are making sure that we work the phones, making sure that we work technology. We have our Zoom meetings, we have our virtual meetings, and it is going to be a very busy and a very hectic 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks that we have. But you know what? The team is motivated. We are very confident of winning in Belmopan, and the amount of messages and requests that we get every day, for those who are saying, listen, Mr. Amira, it's time for change. We want to embrace change. You are the change that we are waiting for here in Belmopan. Yeah. It's overwhelming, and I'm very humbled to be able to be that person to bring change to Belmopan.
Okay. And, beyond looking at some of the things that are traditionally important for voters, healthcare, education, access to housing or land. But as someone who grew up in the area, someone who speaks so passionately about wanting to be the representative, is there an opportunity in Belmopan that you feel that you see that just simply has not been capitalized on?
Yes, and that is the personal touch and that personal visit to the voters. There is no shortcut to it. We need to work hard. I need to ensure that I sit and listen. Mm-hmm. Being a leader is being able to listen to the concerns of our citizens. So yes, all the traditional wants and education and health and all those things are very good. You're excellent. But some of our residents, all they want is a representative who they can see, a representative that they can sit and speak to, a representative that will be there for them. They are so, right now they're so disillusioned. They're so upset that for many years, they cannot have or they have not seen their representative. And when they go to the office, that representative is not there for them. And sometimes they just need someone to listen to. So I think that personal touch and that personal visit goes a very, very, very long way. And I intend to do that, and I intend to continue doing it, because there is nothing more than having that personal touch with the people and listening to their concerns. Sometimes they just need someone to talk to, and you should be there for them.
Okay. All right, so we're down to the final few minutes, an opportunity for you to speak directly to your voters, talk to them about coming out and participating in the general elections come November 11th.
Yes, and it's very important that we go out on November 11th, go out and vote for that representative that you believe is going to be the best representative for Belmopan. Let's go out early. We know that we are living in different times, but all the security and safety protocols have been established. It's going to be safe. We cannot allow others to choose our leaders. We need to be the ones to go out there and choose the leader that we truly believe is going to make a difference. And I have given my all to this campaign, because at the end of the day, when the last ballot is counted, I will be satisfied that I did everything in my power to ensure that I give Belmopan residents that option, a better option, bring back that integrity and that honesty to our representative here in Belmopan. I appeal to all Belmopan voters. Let's go there early. Let's go out there and cast your vote. It is your vote. This is your time. This is your voice. This is the power of your vote. Let's go out early. Let's make sure that we cast your vote. If you need any help, my team is all over Belmopan right now. Speak to one of them. If you need to speak with me, let my team know. I make myself available. It is about service to our people. If you want to be a leader, you got to serve and be there for your people.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it, and stay safe on the campaign trail.
Thank you so very much. Be safe, and thank you for this opportunity.
Yep. And that was, of course, Oscar Mira, who is the PUP candidate for Belmopan, telling us all about his campaign and his vision for the Belmopan constituency. And with that, we are going to take another short break, and when we come back, we are going to have our wrap-up. So please stay tuned.